Welcome to Smooches Podcast. I'm your host, Antrell. I created the Smooches Podcast to help empower, inspire, and help you find your true authentic self through storytelling and laughter. So let's get inspired. Let's listen to some good storytelling. And if you're ready, let's get into the podcast. Smooches! Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast, Smooches Podcast. I'm your host, Antrell. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. We just celebrated Valentine's Day and Galentine's Day. I hope your Galentine's Day and Valentine's Day went really good. I hope you had a lot of fun. I definitely had a great Valentine's Day. I got an opportunity to go to brunch, and brunch was really peaceful, y'all. I thought that it was going to be a large crowd in that at the brunch location, and it turns out it wasn't. I was pleasantly surprised. Got a chance to enjoy the environment without it being overly crowded and hectic, and it was good food, good music playing. I mean, the vibe was great. The only thing that I regret, I feel like, was the mimosa. I had a mimosa with it was a mimosa martini, and I regret that because after I had drank it and then like we get ready to leave, I was getting a slight headache, and then I had a headache when I got home. So needless to say, I won't be doing that again. I think that when I go to brunch, I'll just enjoy the food and give me coffee, give me tea, give me orange juice, water. I'm gonna stick to that and not the mimosa because I don't know. I don't know if it was the combination of the martini and the orange juice, how they make the mimosa. I don't know, but it just did not vibe with me at all. So I will not be doing that again. I would not. It was very pretty. The drink itself was very pretty. It's just that I don't think that I will be indulging in anything like that again. But the meal was great in itself. So it was really, really good. Had a good time. Very peaceful day. Good vibes. Leave me a comment. Let me know what your Galentine's Day was like. I would love to hear all of the juicy details. So jumping right into the topic. So I have two topics I wanted to talk about on this podcast episode. And one of them is being to yourself. Being to yourself, not being very boisterous, and just being comfortable in that space. I'm finding that as a Black woman, people cannot take you being in your own space and not having a lot to say. Because of the stereotype, I feel like. The stereotype is for Black women to be overly boisterous, to be messy, to be gossiping, to always have something to say, right? In that type of space. And when you're not that woman, people are amazed. They look at you like you're an alien or something. Or they think that you're stuck up. They think that you're antisocial. Something is wrong with you because you're not telling them your business, you're not keeping gossip going, and you're just to yourself. I'm finding that I had one person tell me that, oh, because you're a private person. Yeah? I didn't know it was a crime to be a private person, right? I did not know it was a crime to be private. I am shocked because yes, I am private. I'll agree with that. Yes. And that's it. That's all I have to say. I come to work, I go into my office, I get myself prepared for the day, I vibe out, and then get my day going. Like I don't feel the need to chat. I don't feel the need to tell everybody my woes. Like I'm very comfortable where I am. And if I needed somebody to talk to, I'm going to talk to Jesus, okay? I'm going to talk to God because he's the only person that can help me in my situation. For one, I've learned in the past that when you talk to people, you express things to people, Depending on who you're dealing with, you have to be very careful with that because people will use that as a weapon against you. And I just don't play with that. I feel like I need to get confident in myself, be able to work things out and go about my day, because if I'm looking for someone else to validate me, it will never work out for me. It will never work out for me. I think that I have found ways to validate myself and feel comfortable with that myself. And if I need somebody to talk to, I'm talk to God, because He's the only one I feel like can give me the answers that I need. So I feel like if you are in a space like this and you feel like you don't have a lot to say, it's nothing wrong with you. It is truly just possibly that person who has the situation and what they need to work out something within themselves, because I feel like you need to look a little bit inward if you are waiting for people to tell you their business. I think that you probably need to focus more on yourself than that other person. Yeah, that's it. So it's not anything wrong with you. It's probably just that person and them needing to work things out within themselves. Okay, so the second topic that I wanted to talk about is basically just showing a person or telling a person how you want to be treated. This is so important. I think a lot of us brush this off because we are in spaces where we do a lot of tolerating, right? And it's like, oh, if you compromise, to a certain extent. I feel as though you have to be, there's a meeting someone in the middle, not compromising in taking away all of your values and how you want things done. There still has to be boundaries. You can always compromise with someone, but how comfortable are you with this compromise, right? I feel like you have to be confident in your stance and what it is that you're saying, and not just putting up with anything. Because if you don't put down boundaries, what this does is it creates an environment of you feeling heavy, you feeling anxiety, you feeling sad, depressed, any of those things, because you don't feel good about the situation, possibly. And you want to feel good about your day and your situations and being in spaces with other people, right? And you don't want to be in your relationship with your partner and never express to them how you don't like that they leave spoons out on the counter. Or you don't want to be in a friendship where you're not communicating with that person, saying that you don't like this restaurant that you guys always pick, something like that. You don't want to always just continue to put up with or tolerate things that don't make you feel comfortable. You want to speak about it. And this could be with boundaries as well. You want to put up boundaries so that you're not accepting things that are not aligned with you. So I am a firm believer in putting up boundaries, and I'm a firm believer of speaking my mind, and I'm a firm believer in showing someone how I want to be treated, and also presenting myself that way. Because if I show up a certain way, I think people take you a little bit more serious, right? So all of the things, these were just some of the things that I wanted to talk about today on the podcast episode, because I think they're so important. I think that a lot of the times they're glossed over and we accept whatever. We don't show people how we want to be treated. We don't tell them how we want to be treated. So we live in an environment where it's just putting up with whatever is there and not really what we're comfortable with. And then two, sometimes we're in environments and we feel as though we have to say something, we have to be talking, we have to be speaking, we have to be doing the most, and we don't have to do the most. You can be in your element, you can be in your zone and still find acceptance from people and not being this extra person. I'm not that person. I'm never going to try to be that person. And this to me really uncovers a lot of the things, right? So you don't have to go around guessing if this person likes you or not. You've already set the boundaries. You're being who you are. And if this person likes you, it will come out sooner than later. So I'm a firm believer in all these things. So I hope this helped you today, this podcast episode. Again, I just felt like it was on my heart. I wanted to talk about it. It wasn't actually the topic that I wanted to talk about, but I felt like this needed to have been said. So I hope it reached you, and I hope you got a lot from it. And know that you are absolutely enough, and you can set terms for yourself, and you can be in your own zone, in your own space, and be confident in that. Thank you so much for tuning in to this podcast episode, and leave me a comment. I hope I gained a subscriber, and I look forward to having you a part of the Smooches community. And I will see you on the next podcast episode. Until then, Smooches.